Yo, what's good, everybody? Hope everybody's doing great out there. Um, just today's Wednesday. I usually do the little sketch designs at 3. I got a lot going on, so but I did wanted to drop in quickly, do a YouTube video. Continue on our little sketch process that we started when this COVID-19 hit. So I just thought it was kind of good to do. Let me shut down this echo real quick. Today's Wednesday. I usually do the little sketch designs. Let's see here. I got a lot going on, so but I did wanted to drop in quickly, do a YouTube video. Continue on our little sketch process that we started when this COVID. There we go. All right, muted that. Sorry about that. All right, let's just jump into this quickly. Did want to cover a little bit of news real quick. Found an interesting article out of let's see here, at MSN. Let me bring it up here. All right, here it is right here. Okay, so yeah, it's an article at a MSN, and I thought it was interesting. As more people are forced to stay home, they're putting money into their houses, outdoor decor. This one happens to be swimming pools. A couple of interesting tidbits on the article. Just pretty much common sense. Forced to stay home, people have more time to play with their phones. You see the increase in sales on all platforms, and then the outdoor decor, swimming pools, lounge chairs, fire pits, all that stuff only above. The guy that wrote the article is at Lanigan Pools at Ohio. I went to his site and I looked at his work. Let's check it out. Still in coffee mode out here in Spokane. Okay, so let's open that up. Okay, yeah, this is his gallery. Nice stuff, solid work. But I'm looking at it. I'm like, wow, look, solid work. But in our industry, rock carving, themed environments, what have you, we can see that this could be enhanced. I'm not sure if any of these are finished. And again, it's not degrading the work at all. But in our eyes, a lot of guys that do rock work in naturalistic environments, we can see our flavor and taste and spin would integrate a little more Mother Nature. So we can look at this, and these could be your clients that have these environments that, hey, they at one point they liked a little bit of the sterile design, but now they want to add some rocks, maybe a diving board rock, maybe a little grotto, maybe some bench seats to help accompany that. So we can explore that. So today I was just going to draw some benches. Some of you guys that were participating in the class, I thought it was pretty good, but there was so much confusion on the Zoom, on the invite, the password, and the record. I tried to record and tried to post. I think Zoom is having a lot more traffic than anticipated. And we already discussed why. People are more home. People are on the internet more. They're clogging up the bandwidth. It is what it is. So that's why I'm doing YouTube Live. All right. Let's close that down. Second piece of news is obviously Behind the Trowels. Talked about that in the class. Check them out. We are going to be hooking up with them and doing some live trainings as everything moves digital. I think people could save money and still bring the best attributes of a live demonstration because you can ask questions and see it live. It's like recording and editing video that's been edited. People like the raw content. They hang on to the little nuances and the details, and they love it. They eat it up. So we want to do that, and I think the Behind the Trowels, Keith and Bob Harris and those guys have done a wonderful job with it. And check them out. BehindTheTrowels.com. This is their site. They already have videos up there for sale. Check them out. They're pretty affordable, pretty nice platform. Big shouts to Keith and those guys. So next piece, well, let's just jump right in. Let me hit a stop share on that. All right, let's share my sketchbook. All right, little sketch I started this morning. This is just quick, but I thought these are cool because they're rectangles, and you could sell these things. I think that by enhancing your skill set drawing or communicating visually, that I could see these being a practical item in somebody's backyard. So let's just jump right in. All right, start a new canvas here. And I'm going to bring up a picture that I thought was interesting. Right here, this one. So it's kind of boxy is where I got the idea. Real boxy rock, but still rock-like. Very functional. Even on top, kind of flat. Really flat. Enough artifacting here, or flaking, enough to tell you that's rock. And notice the one on the left has got more of a shadow, right? Like it's raised off, it's uneven. And this one looks, precise, laid flat, cut flat, no high spots, no rock. Pretty cool. There's no shadow. Thought that was interesting. Second photograph I want to bring up, which was this one. And where are we at here? Right here. This was in California. And I thought that was interesting. Look at the boxy rocks, right? Really kind of cool. And look at those saw cut. I mean, those things are flat. This one's even like it's got the grain angled in. Really, really nifty. So we can take this environment, the whole purpose of that drawing class, not to become artists, so you're going to get into the art industry, but visualizing your project, communicating that project to your client at that point. And I think it really helps fortify your design. The debugging process takes place while you're actually drafting or drawing, and really helps you even develop a materials list in your head. Okay. So on this note, we're going to sketch a couple of rocks, just real boxy. We're going to keep it simple. I'm going to keep this video as short as possible. And I got some more content coming down the pipe though, on some new planner designs I got cooking. Really cool, easy finish. I think it'd be a highly marketable item for the backyard. So stay tuned on that. All right. I'm going to shrink this down. I'm going to nuke that. We don't need this anymore, that layer. We just need this one. Zoom in. So this could be stamped concrete. Let me lower this down, and just a couple of takeaways that I see in this photograph that you guys can use photographs like this, whether it be your live project or something or Google Images, is that you can use this design, so to say, like this is the patio, right? There's something like this. And let's just say maybe something like that. You just curl around, do the same thing, right? This could be stamped concrete in here. This whole flat work. So you don't have to do these tiles. And this could be your own, stamped concrete pattern that you wanted to put in. What have you. And then draw your rocks on that. And that could be its own presentation. All right. So let's do something. Let's just start drawing. I'll leave this open. Slide up over to here. We don't really need it. Again, they're boxes or rectangles, right? Got a couple of sides on there and a couple little bump outs, but again, pretty architectural, at least the ones in the foreground. Now the ones in the back, they seem to get a little more geometric. And I like it. It's a clean look. I actually like that look for that fit. Look at the color choices they used. Complementary colors, right? You got that bluish, that real dark blue, and then you got the orange, yellowish of the rock. Very simple color palette. If that were recreating that with concrete, very simple stain sequencing. All right, like I said, I'm using this pencil right here with this pen, medium tip marker. And then let's just sketch in red. So like what we talked about, drawing a box, right? These rocks seem boxy, so why not start with a box? Something like that. Now, that's pretty narrow, so let's just extend it out. We're not looking for perfection here, right? We just put another stack of material on that. Real simple. Let's look at the photograph, look at the reference. It's hard to tell because we're just catching the top of that, but this doesn't look too square in here. So we'll jazz it up just like that. Because this is pretty 90-ish in this area. So we'll give that some little extra juice. Okay. If we want to, guys, we could also draw this detail in. Looks like there's a protrusion right there. So we can communicate that. Look like this surface is kind of undulated. And then we're kind of flat here. So I'll show you how to communicate that. Right? So what I'll do is I'll just, even just from the footprint, I'll draw what that profile looks like. Something like that. I got more of a tip than the photograph, but that's okay. Look at it again. And it goes down, goes to something like that. Just a little bit. And then I can just run some contour lines to help depict that bump out. Then you got this protrusion. All right, just something like that. Excuse me, shut this door. All right. And it'll have an inside corner, right, where that met up. This is the face of it. All right. Then goes something like this. Now we got the box there. I'm just going to rotate that out because that's what it's doing. Right? It's got that little bit of a, it's got this bump out right there. See, it's not just 90. Let me use the fountain pen. It's not just straight up and down. It does follow this. And I don't know if I like that semicircle, so we don't have to put that in. Right? Come back over to here. And then, like I said, this gets a little dicey in here. Right here. We do something like that. Just round that off. We won't do a complete 90 degrees in here, right? So we'll chamfer that. Pretty simple. We'll look back at the diagram. Look what the edges are doing. What are the edges doing? A little bit of a kind of snaky, so we don't have to follow that. We'll make ours a little more angular. I like angular. Something like that. And then maybe this edge is kind of chipped. Just something subtle. And I get back out. Now it's like, all right, we got all our stuff in. Then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start to run around it with this pencil and just drawing some texture. You don't have to do this step. You can skip it. It just helps. Gives me some gives me some time with the subject matter, right? It's all about your thoughts and how you're putting your thoughts together on ideas and how you want this to look like. And this is where you're supposed to have fun with it, right? If you're clamping this down and you got to get it done, you put yourself in a hard spot to succeed as far as getting um, the most out of your ideas, right? Something like that. And then we'll just put some lines here. Maybe some green is going that way. Real simple. So now, remember, I can turn this down, turn it off. I'm going to turn it down, and then I'm going to sketch over the top of it. And then I'll shorten up my brush a little bit. And this is kind of when now I have that box in here. I don't have to start with the box. I'm just going to start with this side. Right? And just come up that corner now. Right? This came like this. Maybe there's an inside corner in there, like that. Right? This came around. Then we jog that up. And you notice when I'm drawing, I'm not just going around like this, right? I'm kind of doing like small sketchy stabs. That's a particular style. You don't have to do it this way, but I like it because it keeps things sketchy and imperfect, but it doesn't look sloppy or unprofessional. All right. Then we'll just come around here. This came like that. Keep it saw cut. We'll have that saw cut look. Same thing here. We can jazz that up. But notice now when I come around the top, I don't go straight. I'm not going to take a straight through strike. I'm not going to come through there and just do that. We already did that homework on the base level. Now I can come around that top, define that edge, telling the viewer where the eye, what kind of shape this is rendering. See? Something like that. That's it. Now, when you turn this down, it loses a lot of its detail. All those little lines and all those details, they add up. There's a bit of, so I usually keep it down, but anything that jumps off, I'll go ahead and erase. So I'm going to go ahead and now on this layer, I'm going to erase with the soft eraser some stuff that's a little jarring. I don't want to erase all of it, but maybe some of the straight lines, that straight line that ran through there, and I'll fade it out a little bit. Same thing in here. We could always add more of it in. So it's still got that sketchy look, but right there. Then also the smudge tool does a pretty good job. I'll just take that now. And then we can blend that out. I just smudge here and there. Just kind of blurs some of those lines. Okay, now you can merge that down, make it into one, just like so. Make a new layer. And then we can throw, let's go ahead and with the pencil now, I'm just going to go ahead and just put some texture details in here. Because I'm not going to render every, all the whole thing. I'm just going to do something quick. Little things like that to help it draw little circles and whatnot. And when you're drawing those, remember, you're not drawing circles like this. You're drawing because you're looking down the side of it. If I draw circles like this, it's going to start looking, it'll look a little different. A little bit of a shadow in here. Same thing now. I'm just kind of shadowing along as I go. Maybe there's a fracture that runs right through here. Picks up, runs right down. You know, you have fun with it. I'm using a red today. It's a little softer on the eyes than a black. I'll show you where it lands, right around in there. So it's not a bright red. It's kind of a maroon. And along with the white background, really feels good on the eyes. Right. So now, that's pretty much set. We got our 90-degree in here. If you really want to render it out, to put these details in, where it's that side is being really, getting some light and shadow in there. But once you start that, now you're committed to doing the whole thing, because then you'll have a partial area that's kind of detailed. Again, this is my opinion, Then let's see. I'm going to merge those down, and then I'll take this layer, take the airbrush tool. Then I'll just go ahead and fade in a bottom or something like that. And then erase out the core like that. Something like that, right? Yep. Just run that real quick. And this is an idea sketch too, right? And then I'm just going to erase out a little bit what I don't want here. I'm just looking for a little bit of a drop shadow on the floor, nothing crazy. And then now I can merge that down, right? Now I have this as one of my designs, just throw it up here, right? Something like that. Right? So now, let's just draw one more. And I think that'll wrap it up. And I'll share this on all platforms. Keeps everybody going. Help everybody develop a better sense of sketching approaches. All right, let's do this one. This is interesting because it's angled. It's kind of boxy too. So let's just draw that. See what that looks like. All right, same thing. We'll start a new layer. And then we can draw a box to start. So I thought it'd be good to do. Just draw a box in perspective, right? Let's go the other way, just to make it different. Right? Something like that, right? Close enough. I'm just roughing it in. Now, what's interesting about that is that if we draw, some internal lines in here, we're looking something like that, right? If we got some internal lines in here. And then, but what that rock is doing, it's doing this. It's going out here, and then right here to here. So that edge is like this. Helps us draw that because we got a box in perspective. So in theory, it's more like this. Right? Because it's tilted. And if that was parallel down there, it'd be like that. And then erase out what you don't want. There you see? Pretty much it. Re-straighten your lines. And then in the inside, you could see the inside would be tilted like that if it did mirror that same angle. So let's turn it into a rock. Turn it down. Turn a little more down. So even though it's boxy, it's still going to have a rocky edge of some sort. And it's going to go this way. That's for the top. That's the edge. The bottom. Tilt that a little bit. And we're going to give this a little bit of a geometry right over here. Bump it out a little bit. Okay. And you can rod that up a little bit. I always like to do that a little bit. I'm just going to run some lines that way. I'm going to merge those. And then I'm going to use the scale key and just see if I can stretch this out a little bit or make it thinner. Yeah, so I want to make it a little bit longer. I like the geometry of it, but I'm just going to make it longer. So what I'll do is I'm going to shrink it down just a little bit and remove it. Then I'm going to erase right here at the end because I'm going to extend that now. Like cutting and welding, right? Right. Maybe something like that. Looks a little longer, right? Good enough for what we're doing, right? Then, like I said, we did put a little pump out over here. Maybe that bumps out on the floor a little bit. Same thing that we did on the other rock. All right. Here's the eraser. Just going to come in here and erase out what I don't want. Now I merged them. See, I'm just erasing that out a little bit. Erase some of my lines. Sometimes I run the erase over the whole thing and just scribble. Takes out my lines, some of my harder lines. Again, this whole idea is just an idea sketch. Right? And then we'll just go around it one last time. Big shouts to Chad Gunthermiller. He did a really nice rendering after last week's tutorial session. Let's finish this off. Some shadow here. Yeah, I'll just shadow the whole back like that's in shadow. Again, real scribbly. And then now we'll finish this off. So doing these little sketches like this is going to help you envision how to cut the foam, whether you're doing a rebar armature. It's not a waste of time. I think it's a good investment of time, in fact. Especially for somebody that like to draw or good at it. Pretty much it. So boxy boulders, everybody can draw boxes, right? All you got to do is kind of augment that a little bit, modify here and there, put some texture, and you know you can sell this with your work. Again, this floor doesn't have to be tiles like that. It could be, you know, stamped concrete, and you could change up the color pattern to match your carved rocks. So, all right, guys, more to come, and hopefully I'll have another video out for next Wednesday. Hope all is well. Be good. Stay tuned. Check out Behind the Trials, and check my storylines on my Instagram and my TikTok and Facebook. So I kind of keep content flowing on those platforms. So, all right, guys, peace out. Be good.